Hello, I'm Bob Schieffer, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online edition. Just ahead, the mayor of New Orleans reverses his order to reopen large parts of the city. Sharon Alfonsi has details. Also, the Coast Guard won high marks for the efficiency of their hurricane rescue operations. How they did it is tonight's inside story. And NASA officials unveil a new shuttle design and plans for a manned mission to the moon. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online edition. 90 more victims were added to the hurricane death toll in Louisiana today, bringing it now to 736. Federal officials had been telling the New Orleans mayor that he was moving too quickly over the weekend when he tried to reopen the city, and at today's news that a new storm is headed his way, he apparently became convinced they were right. Here is Sharon Alfonsi from New Orleans.
Pretty much everybody wants to get back in, but we got to do it by zip codes here.
Just hours after thousands of residents returned home at the urging of the New Orleans mayor,
we had two palm trees. One just snapped off at the top and it's hanging on the roof.
He issued another order: leave.
I'm asking everybody to start the process of evacuating right now.
Just this weekend, Mayor Ray Nagin told residents to come back to New Orleans, hoping it would breathe life into a broken city. Critics called his aggressive timetable a political pipe dream, and today it went up in smoke.
We also have had a new event to potentially cause us to take a different look at things.
With mounting political pressure from the president, another storm headed to the Gulf, and reports that just 6 inches of rain could make the city's levee break again. A once confident mayor did a complete 180.
I'd rather err on the side of conservatism so that we make sure that we have everybody out.
But even before Rita was on the radar, New Orleans was no place for the weak. Clean water is still hard to come by. Much of the city is still in the dark, and stores are in shambles.
This is basically a city now for people who can hike and camp.
Dr. Brobson Lutz is trying to patch up the city's sick with a borrowed ambulance and a bag of drugs.
So now you're going to the patients instead of them coming to you?
Right. House calls are back in Louisiana, no doubt about it.
There's really no other option. All of the city's hospitals are closed or condemned.
If you take a half of one of these,
storm or no storm, this doctor's diagnosis remains the same: slow down.
There is no way 180,000 people can be living in Orleans Parish in 2 weeks. No way.
And another reason for concern is the 911 system. It is still not up and running. So if residents here do have any kind of emergency, they're on their own. Bob?
Sharon, it's really these levees that's worrying these officials, is it not? Because if there's another storm, they could give way.
That's right. This levee, if it was in perfect condition, wasn't meant to sustain a Category 4 hurricane. But right now, a tropical storm could do it in.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon. The rest of the federal government may have fumbled on Hurricane Katrina, but if there is one true thing to say, it is that the U.S. Coast Guard came through with flying colors, among other things, rescuing 33,000 people. How did they do it? Bob Orr with the inside story.
Katrina's gales had barely stopped howling when the cavalry arrived.
That is just below the aircraft.
Not on white horses, but in orange choppers.
Let's go back. Pick up some more kids.
While FEMA and local officials exchanged blame for a sluggish response, there were heroes at work.
Nothing prepared us for the scope of the devastation down there.
Like Coast Guard pilot Dan Taylor. In 4 days, his chopper crew saved 50 people.
In the New Orleans area, literally just about anywhere you looked, you saw people on rooftops that needed help, people waving things out of windows that needed help.
Taylor relied on his own judgment in deciding who needed to be rescued first.
This was not a case where you saw a need and then had to radio back and get permission or get some kind of chain of command authority?
Oh, not at all. There wasn't a single time while we were in the air where we had to ask permission to do anything.
And that's why the Coast Guard succeeded. Unlike many other federal agencies, it was able to cut through the bureaucratic red tape with a simple philosophy: act first and get permission later.
Drivers, clear the power lines, clear, move easy back and left.
Crews on the scene assessed the needs and the risks in an urban danger zone.
It was definitely something that we don't train for. We can't go around and flood a neighborhood and train picking people off houses. we're usually out in the open water. So.
How many more are we going to try to get in here, sir? How many more you want?
There were no specific orders from headquarters.
Basically, we'd freelance and just pull as many people as we could fit in the helicopter at a time.
It's a can-do organization.
Former Coast Guard Commander Stephen Flynn says FEMA and other agencies need to build on the Coast Guard's success.
It can't be a reactive, give me a specific laundry list of what you need and we'll figure out whether we got it. The most critical time in a disaster is in the first 48 to 72 hours. And if you're not poised to help out, you're not going to be much good.
There were heroes in Katrina.
We didn't lose a helicopter. We didn't lose anybody that we were hoisting, so I think it went well.
I think the Coast Guard knocked it out of the park.
The question is, will they have more help the next time? Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
The pressure may be on to cut federal programs, but NASA picked today to announce a huge new program, a $104 billion plan to go back to the moon. The question is, will it ever fly now that the Gulf Coast must be rebuilt? Wyatt Andrews has details.
It will take Americans to the moon and beyond, but it will look like it came from the 60s. The new space vehicle, the replacement to the shuttle, looks like an old-fashioned space capsule.
The outer mold line is very Apollo-like, except larger. Think of it as Apollo on steroids.
Unveiling a bold new plan, NASA Chief Michael Griffin says the new CEV, or Crew Exploration Vehicle, will take America back to the moon by the year 2018.
It's one small step for man.
Just like in the heyday of the Apollo moon missions 36 years ago, astronauts will land on and take off from the moon using a separate lunar lander. But this time there will be 4 astronauts, not 2, staying at least a week, not just 2 or 3 days. The CEV, upon its return, will be able to land on the ground and be reused up to 10 times.
It's easier to build it. It's easier to operate it. It's not a complex winged vehicle that has to fly on a runway. It's a big step forward for NASA. I mean, I think everybody in the space program has thought for years they needed to replace the space shuttle.
NASA also claims the CEV will be much safer than the space shuttle. The capsule, by sitting on top of the rockets, will be in front of the fuel tanks that destroyed Challenger and in front of the kind of debris that destroyed Columbia.
Frankly, the two failure modes which caused the loss of Challenger and Columbia cannot happen on this vehicle due to the basic nature of its design.
Under NASA's plan, the new space capsule won't just go to the moon. It will go beyond to Mars. And so the expense of it all is a wild card. With $200 billion now needed to repair the Gulf, Congress will be more hesitant to spend $100 billion on the moon. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Washington.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Tuesday's broadcast, you'll meet an oil man who's relying on a higher power to help him find black gold in Israel. We'll see if his faith is paid off. For CBSNews.com, I'm Bob Schieffer.